Welcome back to A Day in the Life. Yes, this channel still exists, and to the 100 of you who are still following me, you guys are literally the best. I promise I will do better. I have some video ideas coming up. For now, we're gonna do an August reading wrap up, and I know I haven't posted the last few months. There's just so many that we're not gonna backtrack. We're just gonna do August. 12 books, 8 different genres. We're gonna do this ranking style from least favorite to most favorite. So I think we just get started here. Bottom of the list is The Dead Come to Stay by Brandy Schillace. I read this as an e-arc, which at the time it wasn't out. It's already out. It's the second book in a series. I don't actually know the official name of the series. I think it's either the Neverlay series or the Ardmore House series. Cozy mystery. I ended up giving it 2.5 out of 5 stars. I have read much better cozy mysteries out there. I had a few problems with this one. Way too many characters, and on top of that they would be addressed by their first name, their last name, a totally different name, a nickname. It was almost impossible to keep track of all the different characters. I also didn't love that there were 2 plot lines that had basically equal playing time in the book. I feel like Joe's storyline was less important and I didn't need so much of it. The romance was cute. The cozy vibes were there. I will also say I did not read the first book in this series, and I do feel like sometimes that really helps with the cozy mystery. So part of me feels like I just kind of missed the whole point of the book. So maybe it's a little bit biased, but definitely my least favorite of the month by like a landslide. Number 11th for the month makes me honestly really upset. The Love Haters by Katherine Center. I hate reading her books this slow because she really does do a great job with banter. The stories usually have like a fun element but also a serious secondary plot. In this one it's a lot about body image and self-love, and I will say the author's note really kind of tied everything together a little bit more and made me appreciate the story a little bit more. But wow, I really could not stand the main female character for most of this book. I thought she was super annoying. She really hated herself, basically, and that was tough to read. It's also friends to lovers, definitely a little bit insta-love, which is really not my favorite type of romance. Also, I feel like it's marketed as a summer book, and it's not. It was set in the fall in Florida, but it was still fall time. So that threw me off a little. Might not just have been in the mood, I don't know. I ended up giving it a solid 3 stars. Number 10 on the list. Also really sad about this one. I did get to read an e-arc of Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. This is the prequel to the Letters of Enchantment duology. The first book is Divine Rivals. I actually haven't read Ruthless Vows, and I will say I do now want to finish the full collection of books, but I didn't like this one that much. It was so long and wordy, and I feel like the first 60% of it was very boring. I wasn't obsessed with the romance in it. Another kind of like insta-love situation. Really very little tension and angst, and I feel like in a romantasy you need that, or a little bit of an enemies to lovers situation, or somebody's got to grovel a little, and there literally was no groveling. It was still really lyrical, flowy, cozy magic to an extent, although a little less so because it was about all of the gods and goddesses in the world, and they're all kind of terrible people, which was fine. I did find that to be really interesting. That was probably my favorite part about it, and I almost wish we could have learned more about all of the different gods and goddesses. I definitely was a little bit disappointed by this one. It's somewhere between a 3.5 and 4-star read for me. I can't really decide. Coming in at number 9 is Gifted and Talented. I will say I overall enjoyed it, but it took a while to get there, and that is always the case with Olivie Blake's writing. I think I've gathered that now. I've only read the Atlas 6 by her, but I feel like I had the same experience. I wanted to keep reading, but I was like, is this really worth reading? And then eventually I decided I liked it. I loved all the different romance subplots. I thought they were very fun. Definitely laughed out loud a few times. I also really liked the weird magic things going on in here. This is dark academia meets maybe magical realism. I wouldn't say this is full fantasy. And while all the characters were pretty terrible people, Meredith reminded me of myself quite a bit. Oldest sister, wants to be perfect, kind of a tough exterior. I did really overall enjoy it, but I read a lot of better books, and also this was so long. I will say if you do feel like reading this, use the audiobook to your advantage because it was very good. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars, and that feels pretty good. Okay, now I feel like we're getting into the good ones. Next on the list is The Wrong Sister. I read this almost entirely through audiobook, and I loved it. It was a great audio. The cozy English countryside vibes were there. The reason it's lower, and the reason why I didn't rate it a full 4 stars, is because it's just at the end everything kind of came together very quickly quickly at once. It was a little bit predictable. I think definitely a really good choice for somebody that hasn't read a lot of thrillers. But at this point, I feel like I've read a good amount and nothing was too crazy about it. You know what? I will actually say I did guess who it was early on, and then I got thrown off and thought I was wrong multiple times until eventually I found out I was right. So I will say that is actually pretty impressive to do. And again, all the characters were pretty unlikable. Except for the main female character, I actually really liked her and she was very responsible, and I really appreciated that in a thriller. Coming in at number 7, another audiobook, Everything is Tuberculosis. This was a fantastic nonfiction. If I loved nonfiction, it probably would be higher, but I really don't. All that to say, it's right in the middle of the pack, which is pretty good. I gave it 4 stars. Really think it's something that most people should read. Short and to the point, I think under 300 pages in total. Not just about tuberculosis, it's very much about our healthcare system, and I think even just around the world. How honestly very messed up it is, where things are actually really cheap to produce and provide and would really help the world be a better place if the healthcare system wasn't just so effed. Anyways, really enjoyed it. I honestly think it could be required high school reading. All right, now the top half of the list. At number 6, You Want to Be on Top. This was such a fun memoir. For the most part, fun. There's obviously some heavy topics in this. I think one of the most important tidbits I got out of this was how hard it must have been to be between skinny and plus size, putting quotes on both of those, as a model during this time frame. This is about Sarah, who was a contestant on America's Next Top Model on season 9, and she was in between those two sizes, and she got so many comments of people asking why she was losing weight, asking if she actually wanted to be a plus size model. I can't even imagine. You're already questioning your body so much, and that I feel like is so confusing. And she was in college, so she was still younger. I thought it was great. Audio was fantastic. It felt like I was watching the season of America's Next Top Model, and now I need to go rewatch it. Okay, apologies, battery died. I don't know where I left off. Anyways, as I was saying, I really would like to go rewatch this season now, except I can't find it anywhere. So I've now started rewatching from the beginning. I'm on season 3. Okay, we're in my top 5 of the month now. Nora Goes Off Script comes in at number 5. This was such a cute romance. I mean, I knew going into it I was going to love it because I love Annabel Monaghan's writing. It's just so cozy. You know it's gonna work out. You know you're not gonna really be pissed at the main male character, which is a nice change because I feel like sometimes they do some annoying things. In all of her books, they're just basically perfect humans. Don't know where I can find one of these in real life, but that's a separate story. This is celebrity normal person romance. I think I gave it right around 4 stars. So cute. The conflict was kind of outlandish, but it worked for me. I liked it. And I do think this is multi-seasonal, so I feel like you can read this all year round. Coming in at number 4, These Summer Storms. I really enjoyed this. This was actually the Everything Shelf Book Club pick for August, and I'm so happy most people loved it because I feel like I would have felt really terrible if they didn't. This gave a lot of what it promised. There was romance, mystery, toxic family. The family was hilarious. Gave such strong Succession vibes, so if you love that TV show as much as I do, this is definitely up your alley. I will say this has absolutely almost no similarities to the Inheritance games, which is unfortunate because I do really love those books and I went into it thinking it would, and I feel like a lot of people did. That's where I think a lot of people may be slightly disappointed with it. So don't expect that if you're planning on reading this. I gave this a 4.25, but we'll just say 4 stars. I do think it's slightly overhyped. I don't think this is like the next best summer book ever, but true to the title, it would honestly be perfect for a rainy summer day. It's set during Labor Day weekend also, so I feel like really good end of August, September read. Okay, now we've got the top 3. This is fun. At number 3, The Other Side of Now. I freaking loved this book, you guys. 4.5 out of 5 stars. Did it totally live up to the hype that I had in my head? Maybe not, but it was so cozy. I loved the characters, the side characters specifically. Oh my god, obsessed with them. I am a huge magical realism gal, so I might be a little bit biased towards how much I loved it, but it was so good. Easy read for the most part. I actually loved how it ended. I feel like I'm always torn between wanting something tied with a bow. I actually normally feel like I hate that, but I also don't want to not know how things end. Like I hate ambiguity at the end, so I honestly think this author nailed it perfectly, and I think she's really funny. I read her author's note, also is funny. I've seen her Instagram. She just seems like a fun person, so I'm excited to see what else she writes. I think this is her debut adult novel. All right. We have 2 left, Pines by Blake Crouch and The Impossible Fortune by Richard Osman, which is an arc. This comes out September 30th. If you know me from TikTok or Instagram, then you already know which one is my number 1 read of the month, and it is not Pines. Pines came in at number 2. I did really, really love it. I honestly demolished this book. I read it in I think 3 hours late at night. I honestly couldn't really sleep that well afterwards. 4.5 star read. It's got thriller, sci-fi, horror, you name it, it's in it. Dystopian, fast-paced read. I will definitely read the rest of the books in the trilogy, although I need a little bit of a break because it was just a lot. Definitely a bit dark, so also if you think you're going in for like a fun sci-fi, not this one. This is not fun. Well, it's fun in the sense of it's crazy. I don't really know how else to describe it. I think you should go into it blind. As long as you like Blake Crouch or any of those genres, or if you've watched the show Paradise on Hulu, that's all I'm gonna say. I do think you'd like it. And at the top, my baby, The Impossible Fortune. When this came in the mail for me, I honestly almost cried. This is the 5th book in the series, my only 5-star read of the month, top read. The books in the series just get better and better and better. I don't know how Richard Osman does it. This one, I think I cared the least about the mystery though, I will say. The character development was the most interesting for me in this one, especially with Ron. I just love him so much now, and he was not my favorite of the 4 main characters, and I mean, he's not the favorite now, but he's like on equal playing ground with all of them. I loved it. And like Elizabeth dealing with everything from the 4th book. And Joyce being there for her. And you get to know Joanna more, which I loved. This was so, so good. I don't know if this is the end of the series. I'm kind of hoping it's not. But if it is, I'd be okay with it because it was just perfect. And that is my reading wrap up for August. If you've made it this far, let me know what you think of this format and if I should do this moving forward, or if you like the vlog style more. The vlog style is harder for me to film, but maybe a little bit more fun. And let me know what your top read from August was, and that way I can add them to my TBR. Okay, that's all. Thanks for hanging.